We must not forget how we are warned by prophecy for 100 years and for 1,000 years that the end must come to his world. The ruler of this world must be removed, and the crown must be taken off and placed upon another head, and it will rule in justice and righteousness. The people of this world have now become so wicked and so fearful of the consequences of their own rule until the almost thoughtless vision is gone. The fearfulness has taken hold of the people. The heads is going to unfold to the nation of earth to find a way of peace between the heads of the nation. A great time, a terrible time, a terrible time. The hearts of the people are beginning to weaken and to fail because of what is going on and what they see is coming. America and the people have lived so rich and so joyfully in wickedness, murder, robbery, and hatred of one another until they harden their hearts so much that they make to think that they can make friends and live on with those upon whom they have no mercy. They crushed all the weak nations of the earth with their powers and brought them to the clutches of slavery. They forced other nations to bow. They pushed their borders around the earth as the kings did in their day and time. But in those days, the kings boast. Think over it. We see England made the same boast. England used to boast that the sun did not set on an empire. Take a look at England today. There is no British empire for the sun or moon to set on. This morning, May 30, 1972, the radio news announcer says that they found mines in the Chicago River. This makes it altogether more frightening. If a mine should blow a ship up in the city limits, it would be dangerous to the life of the people. Just think over this. The Chicago River runs through the downtown sections of Chicago, Illinois. No one wants to frighten the people more. But the frightening of the people sometimes does good. The great days, the terrible days. See, people are just being shot down on the streets, right in their homes, or while walking the streets. They are blown down as though their life are nothing. See, the great days, the terrible days. America dreaded destiny. America dreaded destiny. We see America and our people have been here, according to history, since a few years after Columbus, the explorers. She conquered the Red Indians, the original owner of the land, whom she found here and took it for a home for herself and kind. She has continued conquering until her conquering powers have gone around the earth, affecting every civilized nation, submission to her will. She was successful in forcing other people to bow to her will, whether they like it or not. Now it is the hands of God, which is after America, to force her into submission, a hand from which we have no defense, as it is written, prophesied in the Bible under the name of Babylon. Jeremiah 51:25, behold, I'm against you, O destroying mountain, said the Lord, which destroy all the earth. I'll stretch out my hand upon you and roll you down from the rock, and will make you a burnt mountain. See, Jeremiah 51:53 says, though Babylon shall mount up to heaven, and though she shall fortify the heights of her strength, yet for me shall spoils come into her, said the Lord. White America is under destruction, similar to that of ancient Babylon. See, in the Bible, Jeremiah, Isaiah, and the Revelation John prophesies concerning her. Babylon, they're mentioned, is a future Babylon, and that Babylon of the past. America have enslaved all the so-called Negro, and her evil mistreatment of them is similar to ancient Babylon enslavement and mistreatment of the Jews according to the scripture. It took the hands of God to bring the kings of Babylon and his people into submission to the power of God. He brought the surrounding kings and their power against ancient Babylon and their prime, the heights of her glory, the handwriting on the walls, the casting her down, and his followers to the fairies furnish, making drunk the people of God with their strong wine, and then mocking them. So has America done to the so-called Nick. So the disciples asked Jesus in Mark 13, when shall we see all these things? And they said, look, Lord, what massive stones, what magnificent buildings. And Jesus said, you see this? Not one building will be up. And Jesus said, let no one deceive you. Many will come in my name claiming that this is your Christ. Do not believe it, for there will be false Christs and false messiahs will appear. So we see America makes them drunk with wine, whiskey, and beer, and then laugh at him. You see, she put him to the fairies' furnace, burned him at the stakes, while sitting around with her family, drinking the intoxicant drinks, laughing at the burning flesh of God's people. There is no justice whatsoever, as the Revelation gives it. She made all the world drink of the wine of her fornication. But the end is coming to such evil doing. You see, white America have lived in peace so long as fortune war is concerned. She had destroyed other people and their towns and cities. She had leveled them to the ground. She's still prepared to do the same with her great stockpiles. She says she have enough bombs and destructive weapons to destroy all human beings on the face of the earth 3 times. Still have some left. After this she boasts. But Allah God has said to me that he will destroy white America. He will bring her to her knees in humiliation. As the Bible says, Psalm chapter 2, he will sit in the heaven. He shall laugh. He will have you in humiliation. It is true. It is verified. We see the destruction sent to ancient Babylon, as recorded in the Bible, is the answer to most of what he has said to me will come upon the now rich white America. Rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes. These weapons all belong to our God. White America, how do you fight an army like this? The four mentioned weapons of Allah God cannot be ignored. The whole year had been a year thou far of Allah God, pledging white America day and night with storms, rain, flood, killing, and destroying properties. And now the coming winter, hail has been falling in some places, size of golf balls, baseballs, and footballs. The rain continued to fall in places, and a dreadful snow blizzard is now in the working. A cold wind is blowing in the north to come against white America, as it is written and prophesied we see in Job 38, 22, and 23. Have you entered into the treasures of the snow? Or have you seen the treasure of the hell, which I have reserved it against the time of trouble, against the days of battle and war? See, earthquakes are now again to be recognized, touching America lightly, but nevertheless, they are here. With all of her wealth and preaching of Christianity, she had not been a good Christian herself. As Jeremiah said, arise, get you into the wealthy nation that dwelt without care, said the Lord, which has neither gates nor bars, which dwelt alone. This correspond to white America. She lives situated between the two greatest bodies of the water of the earth, the Atlantic and the Pacific, and she is very careless. She rejoices in her evil and filth, as though she is self-protected from the fine hands of God. See Jeremiah 50:31 prophesies, behold, I'm against you, most proud, said the Lord God of hosts. For your days is come, time I'll visit you. Allah God to visit America a great destruction, which he hath to pour upon the wicked America, after their mistreatment of the so-called Negro for 400 years, desired now to deceive them and to cause them to suffer with her, share her doom. We see Jeremiah 50, verse 6. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherd has caused them to go astray. We see this white and black preachers of Christianity had turned them away on a mountain. They had gone from the mountains to hills. They had forgotten their resting place, their native people and country. See Jeremiah 50, verse 7, all that found them had devoured them. And the adversary says, we fear not, because they have sinned against the Lord, the habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers. Since the white man had made the so-called as wicked a person as himself, now these are the words that he speaks. They are just as evil as we. Therefore Allah guides against them too. The so-called nigger repeat the same and says the white man is no worse than the so-called Negro. The white man have opened all of his doors and avenues of temptation to lure the Negro in for total destruction. Again, we have a warning to lead a people with whom God is angry, as the people of ancient Babylon was warned to do. Jeremiah 51:45. My people go out of the midst of her, deliver every man his soul for the furious anger of the Lord's. From the furious anger of the Lord's. Good morning, all of you guys. We see all other pleasures, destruction, and judgment with Allah God used to destroy the wicked and disobedient from the time of Adam until this day will be brought upon white America. Then she will be burned with fire. This is the time of trouble that shall bring America into insanity. The dreadful times of white America. America, especially North America, have entered into a time that was predicted by Moses and the prophet between him and Jesus. In the 24th chapter of Matthew, there's a prophecy made by Jesus of the present time of America without mentioning her name. It refers to the country as a world because this part of the earth is referred to in many places by the prophet and by Jesus himself as a wilderness. The name America is not yet 500 years old. So the prophet referred to it as a wilderness and a prophecy. It is terrific. I use the word terrible because it's not a thing that can be described as something mild or something that is moving slowly, nor something that can be recognized so easily by the common people. It is clear to all who can see that white America have reached the stage about which she always had been warned. She always had wanted to keep a secret because of the so-called Negro slave. She never desired for the slave to know too much of what was in store for her because of enslaving and mistreating her slave. She had reared them for the past 400 years. She knows them. She knows how they think, how they react to her teachings. She knows the fear of her, and she knows her slave. But the slave do not know white America, their slave master. The great, dreadful, and awful day's doom is now in the doors and windows of America and of the church, the religion of America. As long as Christianity works, America thought she was safe because it is one of the most deceiving and outright misleading religions of the world. Allah God taught me. They have carefully examined everything, and the religion of Christianity is designed to make a slave out of black people. If Christianity was a rat rag and wrung out, every drop will write slavery for the black man. See, the world knows this now, but the spiritually blind, deaf, dumb American so-called Negro, to whom I am calling and appealing to reason, I'm calling them to reason with me on the truth and their own starvation that is now truth of self and kind, an enemy of self. There will not be an end to the carcasses between the black and white in America and throughout the world until wrong, evil, murdering, deceiving, and robbing the poor black man of the earth is destroyed and righteousness and justice are practiced it. This is the day of God Almighty to set up justice and equality throughout the earth. He is to free the black man, American so-called Nick, from his deceitful, evil, murderous enemies. White America wished to oppose Allah God and his work of bringing justice and freedom to her one slave. But this is just what Allah God wants. Allah wants America to attack him, to get the fight started, and to bring his judgment against her with the fullness of his strength and powers. America is bringing about the political gloom. Here, the politicians are unable to carve out a future for America. The plan of deceiving the so-called Negro politicians to work against their own freedom, justice, inequality, starvation that Allah God has brought to them is making the so-called Negro in high office become an enemy of his own people, freedom, justice, and equality. Such office are held out as a bribe to get black politicians to work against the spread of the truth of their starvation. They are happy, and their boss knows that they are, to have it placed near him in such office just for the purpose of trying to oppose Allah and his messengers and freeing the poor black man who is in the mud. This is causing the political confusion, complete destruction of a house divided against itself. I'm asking in the name of Allah that the American governments agree on the separation of her one slave and their masters. Of course, Allah God is significant. We want a home on this earth we can call home. We do not want to be slaves anymore to white people. We do not want to be free Uncle Toms for white people. We want to do something for self and go for self. However, America with a blind, deaf, dumb politician class of the so-called Negro will bring a swift destruction upon their heads, along with the doom that is unbeatable against the enemy. It is not 20 years. Listen, it is not 20 years in the future, nor 15 years. Let no one deceive you. It is here at our doors. Now, the dreadful pledge and confusion of America are beginning to boil. The feud making it boil will not crease until it boils down to the last of the dread. The present promise of a better future that white America is making, the so-called Negro, will prove to be false. And all of her false promises, the American so-called Negro will be short-lived by both because of the time of her doom has approached. America will have to do a marvelous thing of justice, a square deal to turn it back, a fasting show, a tempting the Negro to filth, and evil will not work. It takes justice to work, to postpone the dreadful days of America. America lost a war. Friendship is speeding her doom. So that's why in Isaiah 18 verse 1, whom to the land that shadow with rings. This refers to the plains that shadow into our skies. We see the deluge before the storms. I'm afraid for you that you will receive what the people before you did receive. You see, Allah God is very angry with white America and the trickology that she used on the dead to keep them dead. You are very disappointed to Allah God and to the original black man who knows himself, and very few, of course. The false show of a glorious future that the wicked is putting on is at hand. We must remember Daniel's prophecy that the end of the war, desolation are determined. Before this happened, Allah God will bless the people with a good time, as he did the people of the past, who wronged himself, who did not pay attention to the prophet warning amongst them. Allah God destroyed them. They thought that they were fooling Allah God, but Allah God surprised them. He made the people rejoice for a short time with a show of great prosperity, and at the heights of their great prosperity, suddenly he destroys them. This is a merciful law that Allah has put in nature. Allah God let a dying person rally before the end. You see, white America is going to do the same. See, white America will rally and people would think that she's going to have a great future. And then the end will come in that kind of time. America end will not come while she is going around with her head hanging down, with her heart itching and failing because of the things that are coming on her nation. No, she will be made to enjoy good times. See, the stock markets are going up and lots of shares is being sold. This make any man think that everything's all right, but there is only the deluge before the storm. And the Bible warns white America what happened before her. Ancient Babylon enjoyed full ruling position at her time. King Darius came against her at the time of her full enjoyment of wealth, drunkenness, and her laughing at the slave that she had made of Israel. King Darius came with his army and overcame the sleeping guards who were sleeping on the security of their life. The Bible prophesies that the enemy would say, "Come, let us go up, destroy her cities. It is not fenced in." And they will come from afar. They may come at noonday, or they may come at the rising in the morning or in the afternoon. But nevertheless, they will come at a time that you thought not. At the war and to the end of the war, desolation are determined, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. We see the Bible, Daniel 9:26 and 27. I want you to know that that which will be poured means it is the dividation of you, white America, if you ever getting back into power again to attack the nations of the earth. Europe will become one of the worst war areas of all the world, more dreadful than Vietnam. Other places that you are planning on going into. See, Asia will look like child's play compared to what is going to happen in Europe. The prophet says, to the land that's shallow with rings. This means America, whose skies is filled with plains. Most of all of the judgment trouble which are pointed at in the Bible are pointed at America. Study them for yourself. America right up to today, with all of her battles and with her outside enemies, never lose sight that inside of a poor old black slave. She does not want him to do anything. She wants him to be deceived in. She does not want him to accept his starvation. The Allah God is offering the black one slave here in America. Allah God is offering the black one slave heaven at once. This he hath proven to everyone that believe in Allah God and follow me. I am the door. By no means can you get by except you come by me. Prayer will not be heard unless my name is mentioned in them. I'm saying that you cannot get a prayer through to Allah God unless you mention me in your prayer. Try it and see it. I'm satisfied that those who know this will bear me witness. I have the keys to your starvation and I have keys to your hell. I can if you would just let me pull you out of hell and set you into heaven. And I can keep you in heaven. I can keep pushing and push you into the punishment of hell till you acknowledge that there is no God but Allah. Came in the person of Master Falah Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, and that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is his servant. There is no escape for you today. Only ways through me is through Allah God, me first. For you cannot get to Allah God without getting to me first. The deluge before the storm. White America is trying with all of her might to hinder you from getting into heaven. White America makes promises to you. She makes promises to me, but she does not intend to fulfill them. Some of America's financial people promise to loan us millions of dollars, but when it comes time to do so, they vanish. But the day will come when we will be able to do the same things to them. It is entirely up to them to make good of this day for themselves and their people by submitting to the truth themselves. As the Bible says, the Gentiles shall come to the light of your rising. White America wants to destroy God and me, and she wants to destroy you by deceiving you against following me. White America lift up all of my hypocrites and advise you to follow them, why she knows that you will be the losers. Look what she had done for Malcolm. White America named universities after him, in order for you to follow Malcolm. Malcolm turned from Allah God and me and started to follow him. White America will lift up any one of you that will disobey Allah God and myself and come to them. See how they are doing. Everyone that's a hypocrite to Allah God and me, white America will raise him up for you to follow. White America will glorify his name. See, Malcolm was no lover of white people when he lies to them in order to get a chance to fight me. But he was not a lover of them. See, Malcolm was a double crosser. Tried to get to me with the help, as it is written and prophesied that he would do. His name is not written there in the name of Muhammad. In the history, another name is used. But his work is there in the history of the hypocrites and the life of Muhammad. He tried to take advantage while Muhammad was sick. You find this in the writings of Washington Irving. Even some scientist writers of Islam can tell you Malcolm history. But enemy fools you. He did not like Malcolm. But with Malcolm working against me, he used Malcolm. They knew that Malcolm had learned the history of me. He was able to change it. And even if the enemy will glorify them, they will come to nothing. For the time as ruling power over black people is up. They knew that better than Malcolm did. They set up for worship all hypocrites against me. Suppose we would worship China and Russia against them. We do not worship them. For Allah God is most significant, more significant than all their nations. Allah God does not see them as a power and force against him. They are so little and weak in their powers. You cannot fight against Allah God and win. The more you fight against Allah God, the more you lose yourself. From the Bible and from this chapter and from now on, if you do not know that he is tricking you, but making you to follow hypocrites, it is your doom. Just watch it. He tells me he goes down to Bahamas and everywhere that he thinks that I'm going, or where I have been. This is written. I do not fault him for doing what is written of him. I try to do that which is written of me. I do not fault him for what he is made by nature to do, nor should he fault me for what by nature I am. But I fault you if you let this little transgressor of this life and enemy deprive you of a great future for yourself. We can buy hospitals and places to educate and train our people into the superior education of the nation of earth. But you rather give your money over to white America and let them spend it on what they want to. And they pay you little interest. We offer interest too, the highest of interest. But you do not trust us. So we were built right along without your help. We are going to be the winners. It's prophesied that we who believe will be the winners. And my work that was prophesied of me before I was born. You see it today. Try and find a successful one who is working in opposition to me. None of you who are trying to aid the devil against me will be successful in doing so. And the devil knows that. He's not trying to do these things himself, only with you. He knows that he will not be successful in stopping my progress, not him, nor 7 times his number, as long as I'm with Allah, God, and he is with me. And that will be all the days of my life. Fire fed with fuel. The subject of this chapter is taken from the Holy Quran, chapter 85, verse 5. We do not hope for peace as long as we add to the war, that which serve as a fuel to a fire. The fire cannot go out as long as we keep it burning by adding more fuel. A dying burning fire is increased when more fuel is thrown into it. There are lots of people who are so anxious for peace so that they can return to committing that which they lack in love, idling, sport, and play. There are lots of people who are so anxious for peace so that they can return to committing that which they lack in love. The world that we live in desire first of all to hide the truth, to keep this black man who is made blind, deaf, and dumb by the scientific trigonometry of the right race, so that the right race can continue to carry on the same deceiving and wickedness that they have been practicing. How can we expect peace when the method used to bring about peace is the same method that started the war? Instead of finding the right solution and then practicing the right solution. I said these things for the sake of my own black people, for they are so ignorant to the knowledge of the truth, of the time in which we are living. What they would like to do cannot be done. The time to even continue to do what you are doing is up. We must remember again the prediction of the Bible. It has foretold these times. If we understand the Bible, it must certainly teach us that there is no peace for the wicked. There is no people who preach such a thing as peace and as being true followers of the prophet Jesus, as much as the right Christian do. See, day and night, the airways are full of their preaching. To hear them, you would think that they are the prophet Moses and Aaron, as the word of Jesus put it, said in Moses' seat. See, the right Christians are great deceivers. The Pope of Rome could not bring peace to the Christian church, for he is not enjoying peace himself. So who is that people then that the Bible prophesies of in the book of Isaiah, that he would send peace to them like rivers? Surely it cannot be the present Christian right race, for they are the ones who are breaking the peace. Fire fed with feud. See, leaving your own homes and countries. See, go to another man's home and country to make trouble for that people, and then accuse that people of being the troublemakers. It is the attacker who is guilty of that, which falls to attack. I said to you, black people, you can get away from that old misunderstanding of the time. You are not living in a time in which you may be expected a settlement of the war that will give you what you have always been used to: sport, play, and foolishness. Actually, now is the time that you and I should be rising up. Understand that we should think for self and do for self. If you do not know how to do for self, you should follow the man to whom Allah God has given that knowledge to teach you how to do for self. With the ocean filled with the fleets of the white Christians and the sky crowded with their death-dealing planes over other people's territories, could you tell them that they should submit to you for peace? If you're able to force them to their knees or to destroy them, then I said yes. If that was the situation, then I would say that they should submit and let you trumpet. But you cannot force them to their knees. They have been preparing for a war like this for nearly a century. What I should say, they have been preparing and working faithfully for half a century to entertain the attackers, the same type of weapons and better weapons than the weapons you are attacking them with. If you resort to worse weapons, they have worse weapons also. So we are in a time when arguments to the country of peace is like heaping fuel on a fire. It keeps it burning. We are living in an evil time. The morning, top of the morning. I believe, and maybe many hundreds of thousands believe as I do, that the presidents of the United States of America have good intentions towards the citizens of white America when he took over the presidency. But the times against him for the past 4,000 years or more, Allah God has already given a prophecy through the mouth of his prophets of the doom of the wicked. Now is the time, and we cannot do anything but take it. It is dangerous to add fuel to one fire. The fire is the war. Muhammad Danra, can't say your last name there. So man heart feeling in fear. Now how true the prophecy Jesus says in Luke 21 and 25 and 26 that the seas and ocean are rising into a complexity that man has never seen before. Now we see concerning this present time, we bear witness that the seas and waves are warring, and that fear is now covering the nation as shown by unusual heart failures that is now occurring amongst man. We see these are the signs of the end of the present world. We see the seas and ocean are heaving up tidal waves to an unimaginable height that man has never witnessed before on earth. See, this is another pledge that's upon the wicked today. Since the Holy Quran teaches that the judgment will be such that the earth itself will act, as though a revelation had been revealed to it, because of its perfect obedience to the laws of Allah on that day. You see, Allah will use the power that is in the earth and the sea against the world evil. We see the right race thinks that they have control of the power of the earth, sea, and air. It was prophesied that for a time they would subdue and have the use of the power of the sea and ocean until he comes, who right it is to rule. It's like Pharaoh given domains. Pharaoh was given power and domains at one point. And see, America was given powers and domains at some point. To now, it is God's time to take over. See, the white race think that they are mightier than God. They think they can thwart his plan and purpose until he comes, who right it is to rule. So never no more will earth nor the heaven earth be let out to these non-owners. It is his time to rule. So the heaven and earth belongs to Allah God. Now it is his time to rule. There is much prophecy concerning this terribleness of this judgment of the wicked. The power that is in the water is in the hands of Allah God, and used against whom he pleases. The earth, wind, rain, snow, and ice, and earthquakes are controlled by Allah God. They don't like hearing this, but I don't care. I don't give a damn. It is a fearful sight to see the displays of his powers, with the force of nature, bowing and submitting to his will. See, he's going to make you bow down. Whether you on the earth or in the heaven, all these would take a stand and bow. I shall warn you that this is now coming to action against this Western world. There will be the destruction of whole fleets at seas, those which are capable of lying on the ocean and sea bottom will be destroyed. See, the die is set, but for foolish people who, like in the time of Noah, cannot see the signs of the rain, bringing on the flood. Even that the cloud began to darken the sky, they did not see the oncoming rain until it actually started to rain. So it is with white America. They pay no attention to the sign of the judgment that is now taking place. As the Bible prophesies, we see Revelation 16:9. They blaspheme the name of God, which has power over these pledges. How many in America and the city of Chicago disbelieve and even mock and swear at the name of Allah, who has power over the force of nature, land, sea, and air. Allah God is now doing as is prophesied. Holy Quran, Surah 13:41. We have visited the land and curtained it of its sides. We have visited the land and curtained it of its sides. The foolish still are foolish until he is cast to that narrow place and cannot turn to the right or left, as it was written with the donkey that Balaam was riding. He came to a narrow place between two walls. He could not turn around. He had to stop face to face. The angels will be destroyed. The Bible, Numbers 22, 23, and 26. Let it be remembered that Allah God came forth for redemption, to deliver an American and black people from their tormentors. Whether we like it or not, he would do this. This is the work of Allah God, which is in effect. Let white America use the history of the fall and destruction of ancient Egypt and of Pharaoh. Let the history serve as a warning. They were brought to nothing for the evil done to a people whom Allah God has chosen. For example, of these last days, the lost found black slave and their slave masters. The Holy Quran, chapter 30:41 is perfectly true in its prediction of a present-day nation, sea and land and power. Corruption has appeared in the land and the sea on account of that which man's hands have made. The most great mistake that the black man is making today is trying to hold on to the brief return of Jesus, or that he lived and preached the saving of this white man's world. This is false. Jesus did not preach this. See the Bible. Jesus had a few disciples. Jesus also cursed the Jews. Not to mention that he was trying to save them on the Caucasian people. They are teaching a trigonometry that the white man used to deceive the black man. They do this so that our people will not understand that he has declared himself against the world of the Caucasian race. The Bible, he also declared that the words of truth had no place in this right race of people. They have proved this to be the truth by the mistreatment of you and me. The white race has never worshipped any prophets before or after Jesus as the divine man of Allah God. It's against their very nature to do this. This is why they kill all of the prophets that they are able to kill. They see the people against believing in the prophets of Allah God, but it was made in their nature to be the enemies of God and his representatives. Before the time is out, they will be forced into submission to the will of Allah God. This will not be done for the purpose of converting the right race. Allah God will force them into submission to prove that he is able to make everything bow to him in submission. This is a fulfillment to the prophecy. We see the Bible, Isaiah 45:23. And to me, every knee shall bow and every tongue shall swear. The Bible says in Matthew 25:32, before him shall we gather all nations. Holy Quran has the same prophecy that you shall see all nations kneeling before him. This includes everybody, regardless to their color. Everything in the universe obeyed the natural laws, which was made subject to by Allah God on account of Allah God. He now makes everything bow to him, whether you believe it or disbelieve it. Holy Quran, Surah chapter 382, does not make a difference to him. Whether you are the devil or the righteous, all must bow in submission to the will of Allah God. On the judgment day, we are now living in a day of judgment. Black preachers, you will waste your time in leading yourself and those who follow you to hell by holding on to this Christianity. Revelation 19:20, you cannot keep them in Christianity. Christianity was not the religion of Jesus, Moses, or any other prophet who came before them. It had been a fierce on the part of Allah God to have waited until 2,000 years ago to give the right religion to a world of man. Allah God gave the right religion, Islam, in the beginning of his creation of the heavens and earth. Allah God has not changed his religion. It's Islam, entire submission to his will. Hell erupts. Why are the nation angry? Who are the nation that are angry at this resurrection of the dead? The 18th verse of this 11th chapter of the Revelation, the Bible plainly teaches us that these nations are angry and mad because of the rise of the dead. That God himself was the source of the power behind the resurrection of a rise of a mentally dead people, the black man. It is these slaveholders who have been the real cause of a mental death of the people the revelation relates to as being deprived of justice. God come to give them justice, to justify them as being equal to their slave master, as human beings. This is why Revelation chapter 12, verse 4, there was a woman that was carrying that newborn. And ever since you see the devil that been on this planet for 6,000 years was trying to stop from that progress from happening. But the woman with the newborn baby that had a child was to appear and be amongst God's people. It's true that the woman with a newborn baby, he was to come make his presence felt to be amongst God's people today. But ever since you see 6,000 years that the devil has been on this planet, there has been one war or after another. You cannot live with them in peace. Peace was never in their nature of this right race of people. We keep it real. I'm not going to sugarcoat and water this thing down like you want me to. See, as you know, for this 400 years of legal slavery and free slavery for the American so-called Negro, they have never been recognized even as human beings. As one devil says, they are only 3/5 of a human being we see. It is true that the history of our treatment by the devil, slave master practically made our parents and ourselves less than human beings. That's why I teach that the main right we should seek first are human rights. The American so-called Negro flew in love with his slave master and his slave master children because the unlike attracted them and their brothers in Africa. Therefore, the manifestation of the enemy, the devil, and the resurrection makes the dead to see, that which caused them to be mentally dead. In the parable of the donkey who piled out, meeting with the angels, he saw that the burden he had been carrying on his back was false, Balaam. So in the resurrection of a mentally dead so-called nigger, they are rising toward knowledge of self. This knowledge makes them refuse to continue to carry the slave master as something to worship. This had angered the slave master as donkey refused to anger Balaam. Balaam set about whooping and beating the donkey, forced him as unusual to carry and respect him as his master. This used of force to compel the one slave, the black American, to remain with him, even now in order to make them members of the society. It's only false recognition of the black American, this lost and now found people of the black nation of Asia and Africa. This continuous cruelty by the white slave master inflicted upon the American so-called Negro have angered God as the cruelty the Egyptian inflicted upon the Israelites during the time of Pharaoh angered Jehovah. This is a repetition of Israel history and of Pharaoh evil in these modern times. The appearance of Jehovah and of Moses, the servants of Jehovah, to announce to Pharaoh the end of Israel's slavery. Pharaoh became angry, went to work and tried to strike and bring to nothing Jehovah's delivery of Israel through his servant Moses. This brought Pharaoh to his end, and he and his army was cast into the Red Sea because they tried to prevent the freeing of Israel by the God Jehovah. The angry nation refers to white America and Europeans who are also enslavers of the black man. Take, for instance, we see the part that England, Germany, France, and Italy had all played in enslavement of black Africans and black people throughout Africa and Asia. Here in America, North and South America, there is no such thing in nature of white people as justice and freedom for black people, especially not for blacks in the Western Hemisphere. Now, the anger is running them mad, and they are attacking and killing each other. There is no such thing as peace amongst them, nor can they produce peace for others. The Holy Quran refers to this condition as the kind up of hell. Chapter 81, verse 12. Never before have you witnessed the evil that is spreading far and wide, every hour of the day, in America and Europe, England and America being not the first, but the chief slave makers of black people. They dislike the idea of having a lives exposed to their power over the Negro, though they knew this was coming, the loss of their slaves. This is the time of increase of knowledge. God has given the black man of America more light to this increase of divine knowledge than any black elsewhere, because he chose to make for himself a great nation out of the former slaves of America. White America is angry at God for resurrecting the black slave into the knowledge of self and the slave master. This means that they are entering into a war with Almighty God, Allah, to try to oppose the truth of God, preached by the messenger of God. Read the second Psalms. The great commotions we see, the great commotions of the governments and people of America, the civil unrest, insurrection, mental excitement, and noisy confusion. There is no action that is being taken, nor can there be any action taken that will bring the people into a better condition of civil actions. The white American people have practiced evil and injustice to the man in the mud, the black slave, for so long that they think that there will ever be any divine action taken against them for such evil and injustice. But this is what is now affecting. It is the action of divine justice for the poor man, black slave. Allah God and the person of Master Muhammad To whom praise are due forever has the power. He's using his power on the wicked to bring them to their knees. Allah God is the greatest, and there is no equal to him. Allah God can take us by our own way of thinking and spin us as though we are a clay toy. We cannot fight a successful fight against him. He is too powerful. He listens in on our thinking, and he is capable of making us to think, to do that which he desires to be done. The great commotion today is witnessed by the nation of the earth. For it is America whom Allah God is actor for mistreatment of the poor so-called law-found original black members of their nation. White America mistreat and kill her black slave for sport. But white America days is drawing to a close, and she will not have the freedom to mistreat the black slave much longer, as the mistreatment of Egyptian practice against Israel came to an end. So will the mistreatment of the black slave by white America come to an end. White America has so blinded, made deaf dumb the black man America and her black slave that she will make empty promises to the black slave. And he will accept her false promise, forsake the true promises of Allah, God, and the person of Master Fala Muhammad, whom praise are due forever, who is here offering us heaven at once. The great commotion continue in America till this commotion has destroyed the power of oppositions. The disaster. The title of this chapter is taken from the Holy Quran, Surah 101, 1 through 4. The disaster. What is the disaster? We will make you know how terrible is the disaster. In the English language, according to the Western Dictionary, the word disaster means a state of deep distress, misery caused by major misfortune, or loss, or a great event marked by great loss and lasting distress and affliction. Such disasters now prevailing in white America. It is getting worse daily. The third verse of this chapter we see in the Holy Quran. We see Surah 101, verse 3. Asks a question. What will make you know how terrible is the disaster? Answer is given in the fourth verse. The day wherein man will be as scattered as moths. We do not have to ask anyone whether or not this one of the Holy Quran is now being fulfilled. We see the fulfillment of this prophecy with our eyes and hear with our ears. These great disasters that are now striking white America. We see the great division, the disagreement, disunity, and murder of mans. We see the great amount of raping and murdering of girls and women. There is great robbery and thief going on every hour of the day and night. There are great storms and adverse weather conditions. There are minor earth tremors and hailstorms. There are signs and wonders of signs being displayed in the heavens and earth, on sea and land. There's unusual behavior of children. There's unusual love or dislike of children by mothers and fathers, and the destruction of the process of childbirth. There's the great disaster of starvation and great destruction of health and life by the use and administering poison drugs, which is practiced upon those who are free, those who are bound. What had been known as white America is threatened today with total destruction. White America is destroying herself in an effort to destroy her black slave. The water and air of America are being polluted by chemical use. White America scientists of war conducts dreadful experiments on how best to kill human beings by the millions and wipe out the life of whole continents. These are the days of fulfillment. A prophecy are not one, but a many disaster. And all these preparations, a destruction of human life, but the devil, Allah God, too has planned to save his people. Allah God has claimed over the black slave as being his people, and the white slaveholders is angry because of the loss of the black slave by the virtue of this claim. Allah God comes to take the black slave away from enemy white slaveholders and join the black slave into his own kind again. The enemy white slaveholder hates this, but Allah God has the power to force the enemy white slaveholders to submit to his will. It is the will of Allah God. Enemy white slaveholders let these black slaves go free. Allah God promised concerning these white slaveholders and a black slave in Isaiah 43, verse 6. I will say to the north, give up. To the south, keep not back. Bring my son from afar, my daughter from the end of the earth. White America, since Allah God has now claimed the black slave, giving them the truth, Allah God has called the black slave who accepted the truth by his name. The black slave who accepted the truth of his greatness and being one of the righteous nation of his kind belonged to Allah God. The book must be fulfilled wherein it prophesies that he will claim them to be his own elect at such time as destruction of America. If Allah God has not chosen some of the people of America, the black slave, to be his people, there will not have been any flesh saved from white America. The book, Mark chapter 13:20, teach us, and except that the Lord has shortened those days, no flesh will be saved. But for the elect's sake, whom he has chosen, he has shortened the days. The black slave must know that this is the time of the judgment of both the white slaveholders and the black slave. The black slave must learn to know his place in the judgment. The place of the black slave is with Allah God and his own black people. The black slave had been deprived of knowledge of his God, his own black people. Allah God has come and brought the black slave the truth. The black slave refused to accept the truth. He will be destroyed for willingly and knowingly rejecting the truth when the truth have come in its millers. See, disaster in the country of white America. No secret can remain hidden, but the chastisement of Allah God will not let you hide it. As one writer prophesies, we see in the Bible, Isaiah 18, verse 1, whom to the land shallower rings. This prophecy referred to America, which have a cloud of planes shallowing the skies over America almost daily. Can white America exist? The coming of this white man to the western hemisphere was for the purpose of expensing away from his brethren in Europe. See, Europe was divinely given to the white race as a home when it was driven out of Africa 6,000 years ago to abide there on that continent till the days of reckoning comes to them. We see Europe was a place where the white man was bound in. I can rehearse the white man savage cage life. There was really once the caveman. Their fathers used to have tails in the back. They used to wear that shaggy hair around their face. And most of the ignorant black people used to follow these white man savage cage life. But Moses put the white man into a role of Congress. You see, these are the days we see a reckoning for the white race, as the religious scholars we see and scientists agrees. But because of their nature, we see evil, they cannot help doing evil things against the righteous. See, they make war against the righteous, the black man, to prevent him from accepting righteousness and enduring the righteousness. Today, the black man in America is a prey into the strong, powerful hands of his enemy, the children of their slave masters. For 400 years, the slave master had mistreated the slaves. And now the day of the redemption, they are doing everything possible to deceive them from accepting their starvation that Allah now offered to the black man of America. So strong is Allah love for us that he now desires nothing but a total destruction of white America. See, they hate me, my brothers and sisters, with a bloody hatred. And they tried to kill me for teaching the truth to my people. See, they do not want this black man of America to enjoy freedom, justice, and equality. Look what they did to Reverend Martin King, a man who was trying to be their brothers. A man who probably taught that he did not want to draw the white man's blood. He said if there was any blood to be spilled, let it be the black man's blood. His words came true, poor man. He was without the knowledge of self. His God and religion, and so filled with fear of his 400-year-old enemy, that he could never get starvation from his people from the enemy. So America has been blessed ever since Her father came across the Atlantic out of the confines of Europe until this day. Now her evil done to a slave, God threatened her with total destruction. America and Germany are the most evil of the right race. These two governments have been blessed, but they have not shown any worthwhile respect to Allah for his blessing. Allah God calls people out of all nations of the earth to come to white America. They came seeking a heaven in her, but those who came was evil too. As the Revelation and language teach us, the Revelation 18 verse 2, he cried mightily with his strong voice, saying, Babylon, America the great is falling, has become the habitation of devils, and hold every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. There is no people nor country on earth who will feel this prophecy better than white America and her people. She had become a house filled with evil practices, and with every member of the nation taking part. Yet she had been blessed with a great harvest of food, which is enough to feed the nation of earth, and with her great advancements to the heights of her mechanical knowledge, with her great wealth and silver and gold that enabled her once upon a time to command the value of silver or gold of the world. But as it is written, and all this going up of wealth and power, the act of justice was laid at the root of this great tree of prosperity and authorities of the nation of the earth, to be used by the Holy One to put a stop to the evil practice and injustice done to the righteous. White America had prospered from the labor of her black slave. She pays the black man high wages and salaries, and then she takes them back from him to the high cost of living. We see this high cost of living, trying to live according to the way the white man lives, keep this black man down. And when he has acquired the education of the white man, but is unable to compete with the white man, he becomes dissatisfied to the degree of creating trouble to find a way to self-prosperity against the will of the white man, which is to keep this black man in a condition of poverty want and disregard as equal human beings. Yet, while the white man teaches all human beings are created accordingly, at the same time, he robbed this black man of a chance to be the equal of other human beings. Can America exist with all of her wicked doing against this black man America in a state of inequality with other human beings? The continued existence of white America in the way of governments and power over people other than her own depends on the way she will continue to treat her one slave, the black people of America, due to the prophecy of the Bible from Moses to Jesus and Muhammad. The prophets saying that these prophets teach us that a coming showdown between Allah God and the slaveholders of his people, black America, must come to pass. The time has arrived of this prophecy, a defender coming to defend the prey, so-called Negro, who is held in bondage by the white slaveholders, who had and are still mistreating the prey to the extent that the world is in sympathy with the prey for justice. Now it is prophesied that a just ruler will come. He has come to set up a rule or kingdom under the laws of justice for a people who have lived under the law of injustice by unjust rulers. This must be fulfilled. The next government for the people, the universe is going to be under such a glorious rule of freedom, justice, and equality. It is natural that the old ruler will oppose a new ruler coming to remove him and his authority to rule the people. He will fight to keep his place in authorities over the people. This is why Allah threatened his opponents with the final declaration war that will end the opponent's opposition to his laws of righteousness. I have been writing for many years of the coming doom of the world of Christianity, and mainly white America, who is the root and cause of this present judgment of white America. The judgment of white America is due to the way that she has treated the so-called the black people of America for 400 years. The very hour in which I'm writing, white America is still mistreating are one slave with the worst kind of treatment ever according to human beings. White America practiced the way of her father's treatment of American so-called Negro under what she called a law of freedom. This freedom is only words, not in practice. The slave master children's blood heart and way of thinking towards the one slave is the same as their father's. They find it so free to beat and kill the one slave, so-called Negro at will, that they will continue this practice of mistreating and murdering the slave day and night, because there is no law of justice for the black man of America who was the property of the fathers of American white citizens. America never think in terms of being equally punished for the wrong done to a so-called Negro. The Bible parable of Balaam riding a donkey must be remembered. When angels went to settle the unjust mistreatment of the donkey by Balaam, the angel found Balaam still beaten and forcing the donkey to carry him right in the presence of the visiting angels, who was carrying a sword to bring about the justice between the two. It is almost impossible to say that white America can exist. If white America is to exist, white America ruling power, it will make prophets of the Bible and even the Holy Quran prophesize other than the truth. It is impossible to make them outliers who woke the doom of the race that will come at a certain time, and that certain time is now known. Time can be prolonged if the Messiah that the world had been looking forward to come for 2,000 years. He desires, for he does what he pleases. This does not mean that he will change the idea of the doom and destruction of America, but if he pleased it, he could extend her time. If she had done almost a marvelous thing, like submitting to the righteous, taught and delivered to a mentally dead slave, so-called Negro. This is the only way white America can exist, by bowing submission to the will of God, taught by his messengers. Time that we are now in is a time of the anger of God against the evildoers. It is a time that God of the righteous rejoice to repay the evildoers for their doing, and to reward the righteous for their righteousness. Therefore, to curb this set day of doom demand for the doing righteousness, which by nature was not put in the right race. But they may yet be smart enough to bow, to put a stay to their execution for a few days longer, not by intermixing with a slave to enjoy, as long as they are blind, deaf, and dumb, and do not understand. This act only hastens their doom, while the foolish, blind, deaf, dumb, so-called does not even know that he is being blind, deaf, and dumb to his slaughter. There is no such thing that evil rule peace. Also, the wicked, according to the prophets, Jeremiah and Isaiah, are the ones who have destroyed the peace from amongst men. My advice to the white man is to make haste. Get in a hurry if you want to live. Bow and submit to that great truth and righteousness, the will of Allah. What will be the end of the war? Many of you may think that if white America ends a war in Asia, this will bring peace, prosperity to the people of America. Perhaps someday there may be a lull in a war, but not now. If America and Asia can find a way to bring about a cessation of war between each other, this does not mean that peace and prosperity is assured. Now at this time, there's still this Cold War between America and Russia and other parts of Europe to be reckoned with. See, Europe will become a dreaded spot when America leaves Asia. It is true, as the prophet has predicted, that white America must come out of Asia or be thrown out. Each America and Russia, the two most powerful war factors of the world, is seeking to maintain their rule over the nation of Earth, even to conquer outer space. This will not last long. In a travel investigation into space, Allah God is permitting them to peep into his great unequal creation of power and might, the heaven and earth. The Holy Quran teaches that when Allah God gets ready to destroy people, he opens the door of heaven to them. He gives them a peep into his great wisdom and secrets. But this does not mean that this add power to the enemy to be able to war against the Creator. The reason for all this is due to the fact that Allah God is setting up a kingdom of righteousness, freedom, justice, and equality. Black brothers do not look for high paying jobs, drawing a big roll of money after the war, unless it's with the help of Allah God. Prepare this for yourself, which I advise you to do. The most dreadful divine judgment that have ever been witnessed by man are now coming on white America. White America is the divine target because she could have bettered herself in the divine eyes of Allah God, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, whom praise are due forever. But white America did not and will not better herself, as it is written and prophesied concerning ancient Babylon and Egypt. We have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. The Bible, Jeremiah 51, verse 9, because she was not willing to do justice by her captive Jews from Jerusalem. So it was with Pharaoh when Allah, Jehovah, went after Egypt. The Bible Exodus, Pharaoh refused to give justice to Israel and made war against Allah, Jehovah, and his prophet Moses to prevent Israel going free of Pharaoh's enslavement of them. The war, white America cannot win the victory. It is impossible for America to be the victors in this universal war because of the divine intervention against her. Although she have enough deadly materials manufactured to try to win, can she win against Allah God? She boasts of her materials and being able to destroy the people of Earth 30 times. If she was left free to use some materials, maybe America could win. But the divine die was set against her long before she ever became America. She can try and boast of her idea of mine, deceive her black slave, but she would deceive herself and them. Why America is made manifest by Almighty God in the person of Fard Muhammad to praise or do forever, that she is a total deadly enemy against her one slave. For many years I have written that America's greatest sin is her evil done to her black slave. Allah God tends to repay her what she has done. She deceived the black slave right at the point of total destruction. She tried to rule the so-called Negro in with false and temporary promise by offering high political jobs to keep him from turning his attention to self and kind. The black politician could and should use his political knowledge to benefit self and kind. White America isolate the messenger of God from their minds with these false promises and make them to hate the messenger of God and to work against him, although the messenger of God is working for the interests of the black slave. The eyes and ears of Allah God are open, looking and listening to their actions. It's not necessary for Allah God to use mechanical devices. Allah God is physically will. He has will, physical eyes and ears. He is capable of seeing and hearing everything we do and say. He has power to defeat us in our plan, which are against his plan. We see the American slaveholders want to deceive the so-called into believing that Allah God is not paying attention to them. See, the white man wants them to believe that he is the God that they should pay attention to. I warn my people who believe in the idea that the white man is the God that they should pay attention to. You'll come up the losers. Allah God is backing me up in the work he has given me to do. The work he has given me to do is for your own black starvation. If you think that you have starvation with the white man, then go ahead with him. I'm not here to force you against your own will, but I want you to know that if you are looking to white America for your starvation, you are headed with them to your and their destruction. There is no hope for America to win the war. There is no hope for the black man in the future of white America. For white America have no future for itself, she will not be able to win the war. The scholars and scientists know that white America cannot win. It is not just I alone saying this. The scholars and scientists would tell us white America cannot win. And we know by divine prophecy that white America cannot win. If it was just Russia, China, Vietnam, and North Korea using a judgment on how best to destroy each other, maybe America could win. But she has as much as they have in war materials and scientific preparation. America is capable of going out of the Earth's atmosphere and to fight them from there. But she would not be able to go out of the atmosphere of the Earth and destroy the black man of the Earth. It is only a mistake that one should believe America's ability to build a way station in the air or on the moon, for she would not be able to use it against her, against us, for divine plans is set to destroy her. We have many things out there in space that can be brought into action against America or any other nation today, for Allah is the greatest. The mother plane. The mother planes was made to destroy this world of evil and to show the wisdom and mighty powers of God who came to destroy an old world and set up a new world. So the motherships is here to destroy this present world of evil and to show this wisdom and mighty power of God who came to destroy an old world and set up a new world. Now the mother planes here, the mother planes is like a new human-made planet. See, if you read the Revelation chapter 22, God is going to bring in a new Jerusalem. So the motherships is here and it's like a new human-made planet. We see the nature of a new world is righteousness. The nature of a new world cannot be righteousness as long as unrighteousness is in its midst. The same type of plane was used by the original God to put mountains on this planet. Allah God came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, is wiser than any God before him. As the Bible and Holy Quran teach us, he taught me that this plane will be used to raise mountains on this planet Earth. The mountains that he will put on this earth will not be very high. He will raise these mountains to a height of 1 mile, or the United States of America. This reminds us of the prophet prediction of this time of destruction of the old world and the bringing in of a new world. Behold, the Lord makes the earth empty and makes it waste and turn it upside down and scatter abroad the inhabitants thereof. See Isaiah 24, verse 1. There are plains in various nations today, but this is the mother of them all. Why? Because this type of plane was used before the making of this world. Why should God make such a sign of his power to destroy a nation? Because this is the final destruction of that people who have opposed God and his purpose and aim for justice and righteousness. The white race is not a people who was made righteous and then turned to unrighteousness. They was made unrighteous by the false God who made them. Allah God, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, taught me that this mother plane is capable of reaching a height of 40 miles above the earth. His words could have been a sign meaning 40 years, in which the plane will go into action, and that referring actually to 40 miles. Allah God does not speak one word that does not have a meaning. Every word that he speaks has a meaning. The mother plane, according to what had been strived of by the devil scientists, is capable of not only staying up for a long period of time, but is also capable of luring the scientists. They want to attack and destroy, but if a plane did get close enough to attempt to carry out this purpose, it will be destroyed instead. See, the white men have learned that this is not a plane to be played with. We see planes come out of the mother plane. In the 1930s, the Canadian newspaper reported that they saw the mother plane. It came down out of the sky. They admitted that it looked like a great city, and that something came down from it, and it appears to be a tube. That tube-like thing went back up again. Allah God came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, taught me that after 6 months to a year, the motherships come into gravity of the earth. It takes on oxygen and hydrogen in order to prevent it to stay out of the earth's gravity until it needs refueling again. Ezekiel prophecy of the will. Ezekiel saw the mother plane in a vision. According to the Bible, he looked up and saw this plane, Ezekiel 1:16, and he cried out a will. because it was made like a wheel. A plane that is wheel shaped can turn in any direction at any time. He admitted that the plane was so high that it looks dreadful. He cried out, "Oh will." Ezekiel chapter 10, verse 13. Ezekiel saw great works going on in the wheel, and four living creatures, and the work was as it was a wheel in the middle of a wheel. Ezekiel 1:16. And when the living creatures went, the wheel went with them. And when the living creatures was lifted up from the earth, the wheel was lifted up. Ezekiel 1:19. The power of the lifting up of the four creatures was in the wheel. The four creatures represent the four colors of the original people of the earth. There are five great powers of the nation of earth. These five great powers are the black, brown, yellow, red, and white of the four original powers. The red is not an equal power. The vision shows the four creatures being lifted up from the earth. And when the wheel was lifted up, they was lifted up. And when the wheel stood, they stood. This means that they waited upon the movement of the wheel. In Ezekiel's vision concerning the wheel, he says that he heard the voice of one tell the others to take coal of fire and to scatter it over the cities. This means bomb. It could mean fire too, however. The plan is to drop bomb, which will automatically be timed to boil quickly to a position of 1 mile below the surface of the earth, where they are timed to explode. Now, Donald Trump is saying, shoot them down, right? Shoot them other planes down. Each plane carry a bomb. I'm going to tell you something. They are here, and they are here to destroy this white American civilization. The government don't want to tell you this, but I'm telling you. I know why they're here. They are here to destroy this present world. You should be happy that a deliverer has come to test this wicked system. The mother planes is only here to destroy this present world. They don't want to tell y'all. Congress has failed to tell you over 30 years. The government didn't want to release this information, but I'm telling you. I'm telling you, the deliverer has come. See, God has will, physical eyes, and ears. He's capable of listening on what we say and do. This is why America's skies is filled with planes. This is why Trump was saying we got strange things that's happening on our skies. Yes, Isaiah 18 verse 1, whom to land that's shallow with rings. This is referring to the planes that's shallowing through her countries day and night. The mothership, inside this mothership is 1,500 small planes, and each of them carry bombs. And for this ignorant, stupid, dumbass Donald Trump to tell you, shoot them down. They are warring with the Creator, and they're not going to be successful in warring with the Creator. They are here. And they are here, and they being spotted by multiple eyewitnesses. I'm telling you why they're here. I'm telling you, they're not here. You think they are here just to be here and make good this day? No. They are here listening on what we say and do. They are listening to white America on their actions. You see? Allah God taught me that these bombs are to be dropped into the water. They are not to be dropped on a city. It will be the work of the will. The will is the power of the four creatures, namely the four colors we see. The black man, the brown, black, yellow, and red. The red Indians to benefit also for the judgment of this world. We must remember that God comes to separate the righteous, that which is hindering the righteous, from making progress, and to destroy the effect of the poison of that which has opposed the righteous. The effect of the poison will be fully destroyed at the destruction of the course of the poison which has poisoned the righteous. It is like one being bitten by a rattlesnake. Quickly, medication is administered in order to minimize the effect of the poison upon flesh and blood until a complete cure is effected and the patient is well again. It is useless to try to ignore Ezekiel's vision of the will, for the make and destructive works of the will was foretold before it came to pass. The disbelievers believe that which he see present and not that which is prophesied to come. This is why he is the losers and take the course of hell, because he disbelieved in that which is prophesied to come about in a particular day. This is why the enemy is trying to this is why the enemy is trying to do today with the black man. He is fascinating him today with sport and play and the doing of evil to keep him from going to the God who is present. Who is present. This is why they want you to look up to them as a God. They don't want you to believe that God is here, knocking on their doors. He's here. This is why the Lord is coming with thousands upon thousands of his holy ones. I'm out. You don't want to believe? I'm out.